Hey guys, I'm here at the Jacksonville Developmental Center, also known as JDC. These buildings were originally opened back in the 1800s, a little bit before the Civil War. When they opened, they served as Illinois' one and only state hospital. That was until later in the 1900s when more opened around the state. Around that time too, these building services expanded to include treatment for the mentally ill. And a little bit later, their focus shifted totally towards treatment for those with mental illness as well as developmental disabilities. For the many years that these buildings remained in service, they served as one of Jacksonville's largest employers as well as housing hundreds of patients. That was until in 2012 when the governor of Illinois, Pat Quinn, decided to close these buildings, and ever since then, they've sat here unattended and began to deteriorate. There are obviously a bunch of problems that come with leaving so many buildings unattended and without maintenance for so long, including fire hazards, potential buildings caving in on themselves, as well as attracting squatters and homeless people. In fact, right after I took this picture right here, I watched as a guy who appeared to be homeless walk right up to where I was standing, walk down these very stairs, and I could hear him rustle some things around, just going to show what these buildings have turned into. Although the future is still largely unknown, I was able to get an interview with the mayor of Jacksonville, Andy Ezzard, to get his thoughts and some comments on the current state and potential future plans for these buildings. So here's that. Hey guys, I'm here with Mayor of Jacksonville, Andy Ezzard. Thank you for having this interview with me.
Thanks for having me, Cody.
Well, let's get it started with the first question. What is the current state of the Jacksonville Developmental Center property right now?
Right now, as we sit, we're in negotiations with the governor's office on remediation. And what I mean by that is they understand that the Governor Pritzker has told me, hey, we know that you were given a bad deal back when this facility JDC closed in 2012, and we know you've tried to do everything legislatively and through those practices, and we know that you've had challenges internally with fires and public safety issues out there. We're going to pay more attention. We're going to try to help you out, and that's where we're at as of today. They're making a commitment. They made a commitment to put money into JDC for demolition in this year's budget. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We are working well with the governor's office and his team. Our local legislators know, everyone knows, the community knows where we're at. It's just getting the budget passed, helping them get the budget passed with the money in it to remediate JDC, and that's our hopes. And if it takes years, at least we know that something's trying to be done, and that's a lot longer and a lot further along than it's been.
Another question I was going to ask you was, what are some future plans or things that you think we could do with this property to help better the city?
Yeah, well, we recently went out on a community-wide survey, which we got a lot of good feedback on what the look should be. We've had everything from keeping it green space, just extending community park into a 182 acre park instead of a 82 acre park, because the JDC facility is around 100 acres. There's definitely a retail component potential on Morton Avenue. There's a housing potential on Diamond to the west, and all that property in the middle could be going to, if it's a new high school, if it's a new sports complex, if it's a new athletic field, if it's a new, just keep it green, like I said. Endless opportunities, endless potential, but it's ours to work that out with the governor's office on what is next, and that's where the community is going to get very involved, and it's going to be a neat situation.
I was also able to get in touch with Brian Nyberg, who is the Director of Community Development for the City of Jacksonville. And when I asked him about what some of his potential ideas were for the future of the JDC property, his response was, "My vision would include commercial properties along Morton Avenue. I would like to see middle-income housing along South Diamond with a mix of affordable housing along West Michigan Avenue. The space in the middle can be a mixture of office space and retail, maybe a small play area for children, but there's already a 100-acre park directly east. The city will work with developers to fill in zoning, but there's nothing etched in stone at this point. The Plan Commission and City Council will listen to ideas from the community and act accordingly." So after talking with Mayor Ezzard and Brian Nyberg about their potential ideas for the future of the JDC property, I think that the most beneficial course to take once these buildings get taken down is a mixture of building more housing along the northern and western sides of the park where neighborhoods already exist, as well as adding more businesses and retail stores along Morton, and finally extending the park in the middle, adding more green space, and overall making the area look nicer. Although the first step in this process, which is taking the buildings down, is a very long and expensive process in and of itself, the city is working on getting it started as soon as possible and is still open to ideas from members of the community. So maybe one day we will see this property as something beneficial to the community. Thank you.